Ok, buenos días a todos. Yo estoy viviendo aquí en Chile para 2 meses solamente y estoy estudiando español, pero no soy estudiante muy bueno, muy diligente. No soy yo. Entonces voy a presentar en inglés, pero las láminas más o menos son en español. Entonces, voy a hablar de la Universidad de California Davis. But first, I want to talk generally about innovation and the role of universities. So what is innovation? Innovation is the process of translating an idea or an invention into a product or service. And this was a nice quote from really one of the founders of Silicon Valley. The creative process does not end with the idea, it only starts with an idea. And I think as investigators, we're often really happy to get the idea. And the idea, the discovery is important, but it's not the innovation. So where do ideas come from? Where does translation of ideas come from? How do you arrive at innovation? A key is partnerships. And so the main thing I want to talk about this morning are partnerships, and how can we recognize partnerships that will be powerful, partnerships that will enable innovation. But before we do that, I have a question. Question for everyone. What do you think are the most important innovations of the last century? Yo tengo una idea, pero ¿qué crees ustedes? Polímeros. Anyone else have an idea? Okay. DNA, biotechnology. Sí, es muy importante. Anyone else? Okay. Wireless communications, internet, computers. So there are many. I'm going to suggest one other that I think, and that's this chemical reaction. So this is a chemical reaction, takes nitrogen from the atmosphere and converts it to ammonia. And this is the only form that can be used biologically. And this was a German university professor identified the need for high pressure and high temperature to carry out this reaction. So this was a very big idea. And it was also an invention. Fritz Haber got patents on this process, production of ammonia, patents in the United States, patents in Germany. So now he had a big idea, he had a patent, but there was still no innovation. And the innovation came because of a partnership. And this was a partnership with Carl Bosch. So this is Haber and Bosch. The process is called Haber-Bosch. And with Bosch, who was from a chemical company called BASF, together they created this factory that was the size of a city. And this factory and ones like it still work today. It's estimated that half of the nitrogen in your body came from the Haber-Bosch process. And it's also estimated that 1/3 or 2 billion people of the world's population survive today because of this reaction. So this was an important innovation. It clearly took a partnership between a scientist and an engineer to take this idea and create the innovation. It also had other impacts. The Haber-Bosch process, it killed all of the nitrate mines here in this region of Chile. Ammonia is also important for producing explosives, so it led to the rise of the military in Germany, and we all know what that led to. So an important innovation required a partnership. Universities and partnerships can have a large role in the national economic development. And these are just some data from the United States. So it's estimated in the United States that licenses and technology from universities produced about $400 billion in economic activity and has created about 3 million jobs over this 14-year period. So you can track universities just like the role of Fritz Haber. You can track the ideas coming from universities to a very, very large number of economic benefits. These economic benefits are typically built through partnerships. Often these partnerships are licenses between a university and a company. And of course, the license is a contract, it's an agreement, but it's really much more than that. It's a partnership. We have licenses that have gone on for 20 years, have generated a large number of products for society, and also revenue for the university. But these partnerships require constant maintenance. So the relationships are really what's important in these interactions. We now have a new metric of how universities impact the economy and impact society. And this is really through startups, new companies. And we can track these. In 2012, there were 818 new startup companies from universities. And these startup companies are really important for a few reasons. One is they develop new technologies where there is no existing company. So there's no existing company who could actually develop this idea, develop this innovation. This provides something new. It also captures the creativity of the inventors, of the researchers, and captures their own energy. Importantly, it creates jobs, and I'll show one example where these jobs, they tend to stay in the region around the university, so they impact the local region. These startups can create better lives. And so I have an example of creating better lives. This is through a partnership between researchers and businessmen around Berkeley. Let me see if I can start this.
Back in 1999, suddenly I had a pain in my back. I went from completely able-bodied to paralyzed, everything from about the waist down.
My injury came about from a BMX bicycle accident, broke my back, and was paralyzed instantly.
We're inspired by the patients that come to us and ask us for help to make new tools that will go a step beyond the wheelchair.
This machine helps with a couple of different things: rehab, exercise, and involved in our everyday lives. I'm not the robot, I wear the robot.
Unless you've been in a wheelchair, it's very difficult to see all the very small details and what a person would actually need within an exoframe.
And we've worked together almost as a two-part team where we're bringing the science and they're bringing the insight from their reality.
Of course, there's other exoskeletons out there, but the big problem with those is their price points. $100,000 I can't afford. So what we're trying to do is get it to be on the affordable scale for everyone.
So the inventors themselves, they already know about it and they have a passion for it. So it's much more efficient that they continue their path to bring that technology to the end users.
I see that technology getting closer and closer to be able to replicate what the average person is capable of.
I feel much more with myself and human-like being in this device, being able to stand up eye to eye with somebody. It's strange that this robot makes me feel more part of this planet than the wheelchair does. I'm gonna wait for you.
So startups are, I think, really important in a number of ways. Of course, better lives and a better society is what we're really interested in. But we can point to about 3,000 new companies that were started by universities that are now existing, sources of employment and economic development. And some of these are the biggest in the world. Genentech, probably the most important biotech pharmaceutical company in the world. Google, of course, grew out of Stanford. Chiron, a very important company involved in vaccines. And Chiron was started by a Chilean scientist working at the University of California in San Francisco. So we can point to a number of important new companies. So I want to turn just briefly to describe UC Davis and what UC Davis is doing in this area. The University of California is a large system with 10 different campuses. One is UC Los Angeles. So if you like baseball or basketball, you might have a hat that says UCLA. You know, if you like Nobel Prize winners, Berkeley would be an important place. A lot of Nobel Prize winners. If you like wine, Davis is a very important place. So Davis is the campus located here. It's the campus that I'm from, and it is located in a very agricultural region of California, right in the middle of the state. It's a small town of about 60,000 people, but with a university that's become quite important in a number of ways. Importantly, it's rated every year the #1 university in agriculture and forestry. The campus is rated 7th of all of the public universities in the United States. So it's a small town, a small place. I'm sure some of you have visited Davis, and so it's a good place to be, but it's a very active university. It's also very active in innovation. It has a research portfolio of about $750 million each year. And this comes from a variety of sources, from the government, from companies, from foundations, et cetera. And this results in about 200 inventions that are made each year, so a couple of inventions each week. A number of patents, and these are licensed to generate somewhere between $10 and $15 million a year in royalties. And importantly, the campus has been involved in a number of startup companies, creating new companies, which I'll show some examples in a minute. This is a cartoon. It talks about moving from discovery to innovation. Then a miracle occurs. We actually don't believe it's a miracle. We think this is not a miracle. It's a systematic process, and a process that we have about 40 years of experience with in experimenting with this process and identifying strategies that work. Some of the types of technologies that we work on are very simple. These are strawberry varieties resulted through breeding programs, and they can be delivered directly to farmers. And so we supply strawberries to most of the strawberry growers in California, and actually to more than 60% of the strawberry growers around the world, including here in Chile. So in Chile, most of the varieties of strawberries come from the University of California. To inventions or innovations that are much more technical. This is an example of a plug-in hybrid car. The main part of this company involved creating the software for continuously variable transmissions, resulted in a new startup company. SnapSense provides wireless networks, and has probably been our most successful startup in the last few years. It's now a major company that provides these wireless sensor networks throughout the world. We think there may be an opportunity for this company actually to come to Chile and provide the same kind of technology here. But again, it was a partnership. Dr. Raju Pandey, an engineer, developed the sensor network, and he joined with a retired executive from Intel, a major manufacturer of chips, and through this partnership, developed this company that's now is a worldwide company. These are a number of companies that are been recently started by UC Davis. They come from medicine, biological sciences, engineering, as well as agriculture and environmental science and veterinary medicine. So a number of different opportunities to take innovations out of the university into commerce, into the economy, and into society. If we look around our region, this is a map. Davis is located here, and this map shows all of the technology-based companies in our region, and almost all of these have a connection back to the University of California, either through a technology, a license, a postdoc, or a graduate student who's gone out and started these companies. So of course, this is the kind of activity, the kind of ecosystem that you really hope to develop around a university that is focused and interested in innovation. So partnerships are critical for innovation, and what we've started here in Chile, we think, is exactly that kind of partnership. And this is a partnership, yes, it involves researcher to researcher. Yes, it involves institution to institution, but it's also bigger than that. It really involves UC Davis connecting with Chile in general to create a partnership that can promote innovation. The opportunity is quite simple. California is sort of a fat upside down Chile, right? It's a little bit. But the environment, the agricultural systems are very similar, but counter-season. The counter-season has provided a huge amount of economic opportunity already because Chile is providing fruit to California during our winter. So there's an economic connection, but there's also a technological connection in that anything that we develop in California or in Chile will have applications in the other place. So this provides opportunity. Another opportunity is that we have a very long historical relationship with Chile. This started in the 1960s and the 70s with a number of graduate students who came to UC Davis during that time, and most of them are approaching retirement now. And so we see this center really as the culmination of a very long history, and now an opportunity to establish something for the future that goes really beyond where we were in the past. There is a California-Chile agreement that was initiated in 2008 with the first President Bachelet, and you probably recognize Arnold Schwarzenegger, the Terminator. He was the governor of California at that time. And President Bachelet is going to be part of launching this new center in about 2 weeks as well. So the opportunity here for the center is to develop collaborative research between UC Davis and investigators here in Chile and here at the University of Tarapacá, and to accelerate the results of this research into products and services. So this is really our focus. Collaborative research and transfer of technology are really taking the innovative process to the economy and to commerce. The other opportunity, of course, came from Corfo through their program for the International Centers of Excellence. This program was started in 2009, and these were the first centers that were supported under this program. Fraunhofer, Chile, that works in biomedicine. CSIRO, that works in mining. INRIA, focused on astronomy and telecommunications. And Wageningen, focused on food processing. But a major sector, of course, that wasn't covered here is agriculture. And so UC Davis entered the second competition and was awarded a grant in 2013 that we're now just able to start. And the focus of this is agriculture. We have several strategies. The first strategy is technology pull. And this strategy means that we're asking industry to define the needs, the focus of the research. So we consulted quite broadly with various agricultural industries in Chile and identified a few areas where they indicated there was a strong need. So the pull was from industry. Those areas were related to genetic identification of plants, both in nurseries but also in the field, rapid detection of pathogens or disease, and predictions of climate change in the future of climate. And so we have developed 3 research lines that focus around these areas. Another strategy is technology push. And this is to identify technologies or companies that already exist in California that have spun out from UC Davis that have potential applications in Chile and to bring those activities, those technologies here for economic development here. And we have a few examples of these. One is looking at microbial communities and wineries. Another is anaerobic biodigesters for energy production. And then we also want to identify new lines of research that align with collaborations in UC Davis in Chile, and always focusing on how to transfer these investigations and technologies towards their applications. As I said, partners are important, and of course, UC Davis can't really do anything in Chile without partners. And so we have identified key strategic partners, and these partners have certain criteria. One is that they're really looking for a strategic alignment with UC Davis, Chile. And what I mean by strategic alignment is that this alignment is not just about one research program. It's about a relationship that involves research collaborations, technology transfer, education, exchange of faculty, exchange of students, et cetera. So the relationship can be quite broad. An ability to make rapid decisions. This was also important because with Corfo, the deadline is always tomorrow, right? So we need to worry about that. We also wanted to be sure that we had a national and regional presence. The partners were important there. And to provide a strong research infrastructure that aligned with the priorities of the center. So we have identified, we are associated with 3 primary strategic universities. The University of Tarapacá, and we've been working in various ways with Tarapacá for about 3 years, and I have to say from our perspective, the university is visionary and it has aspirations to really increase its impact not only in education and research, but as the rector said, for the 3rd mission, in innovation as well. So Tarapacá is an important partner for us. University of Andrés Bello and the University of Talca. We also have a number of industry partners and a number of other partners that we may cultivate in the future. But these are our key partners that are allowing us to work in Chile towards innovation. The 3 research lines are microbial detection using omic-based technologies. These are nanotechnology-based sensors for detecting RNA molecules from pathogens. This project will have applications for field and nurseries, but also for profiling microbes in wineries and other fermentation processes, possibly also as a platform for food safety and detection of pathogens in the food chain. Second area is whole genome analytics, and here we're really taking advantage of the massive changes in DNA sequencing technology in order to analyze entire genomes as a basis for identifying genetic fingerprints, cultivar identification, and even individual clonal identifications where the genetic differences are very, very small. With this new technology, we can define those quite clearly. These will also be important to accelerate plant breeding. And the third is agriculture and climate change. And here there are really two areas. The first is the prediction of climate change. What we heard from industry is that there's a lot of concern about how the climate is changing and where this is pushing agriculture. So can we develop predictive models that not only predict where the climate is going, but how this is impacting crops and the ability to grow crops in specific areas. The other part of this, though, is adaptation to climate change. And one of the effects of climate change has been the situation with water and the availability of water, both here and in California. So we're also looking at projects that are specifically focused on technologies for monitoring water use, either with drones or with land-based sensors to predict exactly what the water needs are of a crop so that you use the water most efficiently. And the University of Tarapacá will be playing an important role in that area as well. What we're really focused on now beyond these three lines of research is understanding how these lines of research can address a number of different crop areas. So we want to expand both the regional focus and the sector focus of the center to look at areas that are important in the north, in the middle, and the south of Chile overall. And it's one of the important things that we're committed to work with Tarapacá now is to identify some of the areas where the center can have a regional impact here in this region around Arica. So our hope is to build this collaborative ecosystem of innovation with university partners, with other research partners, industry. Corfo is providing the engine to get started, but of course we need to move this towards a sustainable funding model to exist without Corfo in the future as well. The Corfo program is an 8-year program. The goal of Corfo and of UC Davis is that this is a program that goes on for much longer than that. Our impacts for both Chile and UC Davis are the development of collaborative research programs in both places. In Chile, to generate new economic activity based on these research activities, to develop a technology transfer model based on our experiences, and to connect Chile with some of the business development opportunities in California as well. So I think with that, I'll stop. I'm happy to take any questions if people have questions as well. Thank you.
Colegas, sí, tenemos un traductor si no se entiende, así que no hay ningún problema para que pregunten lo que gusten. Eliana. Adelante.
Yo puedo entender.
Sí, me gustó mucho cómo comenzó la presentación, muchas gracias y estamos muy contentos de tener esta alianza con la Universidad Davis. En esta idea de la innovación, lo que significa innovar y llegar a un producto interesante. Mi pregunta va un poquitito hacia una cierta no sé si se puede decir desconfianza, o qué ejemplo tienen ustedes que una idea interesante se puede traducir en un problema gigante, como fue, por ejemplo, nosotros tenemos las lagunas de aguas dulces del altiplano, se introdujo en un momento la trucha y hoy en día se comieron todos los peces nativos que teníamos en el lago Chungara. ¿Qué ejemplo tienen?
From my own experience, I don't have an example. So it doesn't, of course, mean that they don't exist. But and we have, within the University of California and the programs I've been involved in, we have been involved in over 5,000 transfers of ideas to the commercial sector. And they're not all successful, but I can't think of one that's really led to a big problem. Lo siento.
Doctora Ligia, adelante.
Uno no puede olvidar los beneficios que aportó el Plan Chile-California. Yo recuerdo, nosotros fuimos uno de los beneficiados en aquel entonces, en el sentido de que las primeras determinaciones de pesos moleculares por osmometría los pudimos hacer gracias al doctor Clifford Banton.
¿Quién?
Clifford Banton, de la Universidad de California. Porque él nos procuró, digamos, las membranas por proyectos de él y muchas otras cosas pequeñas, y con eso pudimos salir a flote en aquel entonces que no teníamos nada. Entonces es un testimonio, digamos, de la importancia de ese tipo de asociación.
Sí. Sí. I think you can point to the fruit export business in two ways. One are all of the varieties that are grown here in Chile are from California, and they came here under that agreement. The second thing is shipping. So the ability to ship fruit requires controlled atmosphere where you control CO2, oxygen, and nitrogen levels. And that technology came 100% from California and is now in every shipping container that leaves Chile. So I think both growing of the fruit, but also the exportation is directly from that first convenio.
Gracias. Doctora Elizabeth, ¿sí? ¿No? Eugenio.
Doctor Bennett, la verdad que estamos muy contentos que haya podido llegar a este extremo norte de Chile. Yo le quería, la Universidad de California tiene un prestigio, llamémoslo, mundial, ¿ya? Por el tema de innovación. Es la universidad líder en patentes en Estados Unidos. Es la primera en el ranking mundial en el tema de educación agrícola. Aquí tenemos varios estudiantes presentes. Sería interesante que usted les pudiera, desde su experiencia, cuáles son los elementos claves para que a un profesional, ¿no es cierto?, después le vaya bien en la vida, ¿no es cierto?, triunfe y sea un innovador, un emprendedor. En su experiencia de la Universidad de California, donde ustedes tienen, como muy bien lo indicaba ahí en las transparencias, hay gran parte del emprendimiento de las nuevas empresas, startups, se han generado en las universidades. Entonces, ¿cómo usted lo podría expresar eso para que nuestros estudiantes se llevaran su visión? Eso.
Part of this is a culture, having a culture of innovation within the university. And I wish Rector Flores was here to hear this, although I'm sure he supports this. This is an important role of leadership. If leadership really embraces innovation, talks about it to the faculty and to the students, you begin to create this culture. But then you also need programs where students can actually participate in the innovation process. We have something called Big Bang. It's a business plan competition. And students from the business school form teams with other students from science and engineering and develop a business plan. And at the end of this competition, the winning company gets funded to actually start the business and go. So having these kinds of activities can be very motivating. But it is an issue of having really a critical mass where you have enough groups who are interested in innovation and have programs that can engage students. But it's important that you said this. I think one of the things we're looking for is for students to come either for short or long-term studies at UC Davis. And we have some courses specifically in innovation as short as 2 weeks, which go through an entire process of innovation. So I think these are areas that we may be able to build collaboration as well.
Thank you. Otra consulta, colegas, alumnos. Ahí, don Leonardo Figueroa.
Buenas tardes. Usted mostró, digamos, un cierto resumen, digamos, de la producción de innovación que tenían. La pregunta es bien simple. ¿Cuántas de las ideas que se plantean en vuestra universidad finalmente terminan siendo una innovación?
So there's two starting points. So of the research that is conducted in the university, probably 20% actually results in some type of invention or practical idea. From that 20%, only about 20% ever makes it to the marketplace. So if you do the math, I think that comes out to about 4%. So it's a very small amount. And that's one reason why it's important to have a large base of research, recognizing that just a small amount will become an innovation. One thing we're doing differently is because industry is defining the research direction, we think that there should be a much higher percentage of research results that actually are applied because we have a customer already. Whereas most research is started by curiosity, not necessarily focused towards application.
Sí, Liliana, por favor.
Sí, muchas gracias, doctor Bennett. Quisiera que usted nos pueda indicar cuáles son los rasgos diferentes desde Estados Unidos a un país emergente como Chile que necesitamos abordar, trabajar y mejorar para poder lograr estas interacciones de forma más fructífera. Rasgos idiosincrásicos de procesos culturales. Por favor. Sí, cultures, I mean cultures activities on the behavioral sciences.
Yeah. So there's a few things really. One, which is cultural, and it's changed a lot in the U.S., is the ability to fail. So at least in California, and especially Silicon Valley, failure is, badge of honor. Whereas in many other cultures, and I think here too, if you fail once, you may not get another chance to succeed. And so I think this is something that, because new businesses and these kinds of innovations they're high risk endeavors, and so they won't all succeed. So that's one issue. But then I think there's also the whole ecosystem that I talked about at the end, an ecosystem of lawyers, investors, business development groups who can actually work with the university and form these kind of partnerships that you really need. And I'm trying to investigate what's here, but I think that those networks do exist, but they're not highly developed right now. So they need more development in the whole innovation ecosystem. And to do that, we need to have a few good success stories, a few university innovations or startup companies that become very successful. And then you will get the attention of the business resources that are important. You need one Google.